Hey, my name is Kelly Barrow Macias. I have been doing tellering pretty much 20 years, maybe a little bit more. I love it. It's a great job. I've been a supervisor, which that was great too, but I'm old now and I just want to chill. So I don't mind just being a teller. I love the interaction with people. I like taking care of things for customers, you know, making them feel like their money is taken care of as they leave the branch. So it's a good thing. The career as a teller, I would say it's not a hard job. It's just very focused. You have to pay attention to detail. You have to also be a cheerful person. Nobody wants to get taken care of by, oh, let me help you. You have to love people. You have to love serving someone, doing something for them that makes them walk away with a smile. So if you're a person that just wants to hang out in a cubicle, might not be for you, but you never know. You could just test it out, see how it goes. I've known a lot of tellers over the years that were scared to death when they first started, and then they turned out to be some of the best tellers ever. They just opened right up. They were hungry to learn more things and how to do things, and then they just moved up in the banking. So it's a fun job, but it's also a very intense job because of course you're dealing with people's money. You want to make sure you pay attention and you're dealing with accuracy. It's not a race, it's more of get it done correctly. So, but tellering I love it, I enjoy it. Well, basically when you start tellering, they would like for you to have cash handling experience. Like maybe you worked at a store somewhere and you just rang up transactions and you know how to count money back to customers. Believe it or not, some people struggle with that, but it's just something you practice and you can do that. If you're comfortable with money, if it's not intimidating to you, you'll do fine. So basically that, and then of course the addition and the subtraction and the multiplying, you need to know your math. There's calculators, thank God, but sometimes you just have to do a quick little addition or a subtraction in your mind and make sure it works what it's going to work for, because sometimes customers come with some difficult transactions, but if you just prioritize and you take a look at the whole picture, you'd say, oh, I know what we need to do, and after a while you'll figure things out and you just zip right through it. Potential for growth is great because in banking there are so many different positions. Most people start out as a teller and then they move up to supervisor and then maybe they'll move into another department. A lot of times they'll go into loans or they'll go into the main vault, which has all the money in it that comes from the Federal Reserve, and that's a tough job right there, I would say. But there's all kinds of positions you can move into, accounting, and there's so many opportunities in banking, investments. There's a whole wide world out there in finance, always, and they will always need a teller because they try to do the ATMs and the online banking and all that, which is great because it's super convenient, but there are a lot of people out there that still want the human touch. They want to talk to someone. They don't want to do automation on the phone. They want to just walk up to someone and say, hey, I need help with this, or how do you do that? And they just want a human being that's there that can talk to them. So, you know, we will always be useful. As far as the pay goes though, the pay, I haven't checked into it lately, but I know when I started, and that was way back in the day, that was 20 years ago, starting pay was $10.50 an hour. It's gone way up since then. So I think in the teller job right now, I think the average is between $15 and $18 if you start. Sometimes it's a little less, it just depends on where you're at, what state too, it depends on also, but it's not bad. Well, it's usually a 40-hour week. You, of course, have co-workers because most banks, like Stockman's is a good average-sized bank. So we have 3 tellers and, of course, supervisors. And then, of course, we work with other departments. So you have to have good interaction with people. You have to know how to present things, how to especially not take things personal. You know, sometimes people have a bad day. They get a little snappy or something. You know, don't take things personal. Just understand we're human. You know, and then if you catch yourself getting a little cranky, just say, you know what, take it down a notch, let's go, move on. So yes, you have to be able to interact with people well. Because if you don't, you make it hard for everyone.
So can you walk me through a typical day?
Typical day is come in, we answer the phones, of course, people have questions. Basically, like here at Stockman's, it was a little bit different from other banks that I worked at. Other banks were bigger, so we had other departments that we would send things out to. Like if a customer said, I need to know if this check has cleared, I need a copy of it, we refer them to retrievals. They look all that stuff up. Customer would come and say, I need help with my online banking. We would refer them to the online banking section. And the tellers would basically take care of the checking, savings, doing loan payments. But here, we do a little bit of all of it. I found out that we are the 1-800 number. So whenever customers have questions about their online banking or mortgage and things like that, we basically all work together to get those answers for them. We don't just pick a number and send them off to someone else. It's very personal here, and I think that's why customers like to bank here, because they feel like we are going to actually take care of them. We're not going to push them off on someone else. Well, yeah, of course, there's the balancing. That is a teller's favorite word, balance. At the end of the day. So yes, sometimes there's issues. Some days are busier than others. It's funny with banking, just like with fast food. Either everyone is there at the same time or there's no one there. And then there's some days when you're low staffed because maybe someone's sick, vacation, and so you're running around like a crazy person trying to do the job of 2 or 3 people. Things can happen, but you just have to breathe, try to remember, just stop, focus, so that you don't make mistakes, because that's the thing that we just always want to avoid, because like I said, you're dealing with other people's money and you want them to feel confident that you can take care of it. But yeah, some days can get pretty hectic. You're being pulled this way, pulled that way, and you just gotta have to learn to chill, prioritize, and let's get it done. So yeah, days can be challenging, especially with the money, like I said. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, yes. Yeah, this job, like I said, it's 40 hours a week. Unless I would have to say, if you're a banking officer, maybe higher up there, sometimes they tend to become workaholics, kind of like your daddy. But yeah, and so it seems like they're always at work doing something. And a lot of times, and like I said, I had been a supervisor before, and it's funny, we used to joke, once you go on salary, you're basically working for minimum wage, because you will always put in more hours than your 40, because you want to get things done, and you're not on the clock, so you just keep going, and sometimes someone has to say, hey, stop, go home. So yeah, but it's as far as family life, it's not going to be an issue. What advice I would give them? I would just tell them, go for it. You would enjoy it. And even if you didn't stay in banking, I believe they would enjoy the experience. I believe they would learn a lot, especially about finance, doing their own finances, and questions about, because some people are like, well, what does equity mean? What does that have to do with anything? And, or as far as investments go, where would I go? How do I know what is the right investment? If you work in this environment, you can always talk to people, and they will give you all the clues, like, oh no, don't buy your car for that interest rate. That is terrible. Here, come here. Let me show you what is a good interest rate. You get all that little side advice for free. So yes, there's a lot of benefits. Just go for it, and I think they would enjoy it. Like I said, if you're really bad at handling cash, maybe not so much. You could try one of the other departments, but I believe tellering could be for anyone. Yeah.